everyone, I'm Leslie Favela and today I'm going to present a journal article. So ever since the Bill of Rights got ratified, all US citizens have the right to bear firearms, just as the Second Amendment mentions. The right to bear firearms has been a conflict between citizens for a long time now. As women, I believe that we should talk more about how owning a firearm can either benefit women or put them at risk. We, as women, should try to understand each other more, so we know what makes us feel safer in our community, and the reasons why we believe that. Today, I will be reviewing perceptions of firearms in a cohort of women exposed in intimate partner violence in central Pennsylvania. So first, I will discuss the background of the journal article, which, which talks about the connection of firearms and women experiencing intimate partner violence. Second, I will explain what the article's research used as methods in order to characterize gun ownership and opinions about a firearm safety and access as being governed. And lastly, I will talk about the results about the study came up with. Without further delay, let me start explaining the article. So to begin with, what is the background of the article? Well, this article talks about how women have experienced intimate partner violence and how it is associated with homicide and firearms, the most commonly used weapon. According to Legenberg, Lehman, and McCall, Hosenfeld, 40% of femicides are perpetrated by an intimate partner, the majority with a firearm. Research has consistently shown that the presence of guns increases the risk of women being murdered. Although some women prefer not having a firearm around them because they feel in danger, some women feel that it is better to have a firearm around in order to use it as defense against abusers. That is what brings the study of this article to examine how women with intimate partner violence perceive the accessibility of firearms in their communities, perception of safety with a gun nearby, and the presence of firearms in the home. To do their study, they had to recruit women that were eligible if they screened positive for a lifetime history of intimate partner violence. Those women that were eligible were invited to participate in a longitudinal study. According to Legenberg, Lehman, and McCall, of the women recruited via the ambulatory cohort, 500 women screened positive for IPV, and 270 participated in the Basklin survey. The survey asked questions such as how easy is it for people who live near to get a gun? Does having a gun around make you feel safe or less safe? Are any firearms kept in or around your home? According to Legenberg, Lehman, and McCall Hosenfeld, to control for variation in the sample by demographics, we evaluated our cohort for age, marital status, urbanicity, poverty, education, and race or ethnicity. To access the connection of gun ownerships and perceptions with types of interpersonal trauma, they studied different types of IPB. Recency of IPB, unwanted sexual relations, and ACEs to evaluate if these traumas were related to the outcome variables. And lastly, the studies showed that women that had adverse childhood experiences felt unsafe around a firearm. According to Legenberg, Lehman, and McCall, women who were older were more likely to report guns to be easy to acquire in their communities. Analysis of perceived safety in the proximity of a gun showed significance in the relationship of women with the highest ACE score, indicating a high level of childhood trauma, to be less likely to feel safe with a gun nearby. Thanks to this study, we can conclude that women with a high level of childhood trauma felt less safe with a gun nearby, which concorded with the hypothesis of this article. According to Legenberg, Lehman, and McCall, 57% of our sample of IPB-exposed women felt having a gun around made them feel at least somewhat safer. This is similar to the 58% of American women, compared to 67 of American men, who think a gun makes them feel safer. Also, the findings suggest that some trauma exposures impact how safe IPB-exposed women feel around guns, and yet are not reflected in whether or not they live in a home with a gun. So in conclusion, firearms are the common weapon used in homicides between intimate partners. This study helps to understand more why women feel safer either with a gun around or less safe with a gun nearby. This article shows background to help us comprehend more about women being exposed to intimate partner violence. It also shows the methods they used in order to complete their study about why women have different opinions on gun control. And lastly, it shows results on how IPB women feel more at risk with a gun nearby. It also shows the methods they used in order to complete their study about why women have different opinions on gun control. And lastly, it shows results on IPB women feel more at risk with a gun control. We should be able to comprehend more about women's opinion on whether they like to be around firearms or not.